Have you ever wondered why Joseph, one of the most remarkable figures in the Bible, seemed to enjoy such incredible favor, regardless of his circumstances? Whether he was in Potiphar's house, imprisoned, or standing before Pharaoh, Joseph consistently found favor in the eyes of those around him. But what was his secret? And more importantly, can we, too, access the same kind of favor in our lives today? Stay with us as we explore how Joseph's journey reveals the keys to unlocking divine favor in our own lives. Hello, and welcome to Be Edified Daily, your go-to channel for spiritual insights and biblical teachings that inspire and uplift. We are delighted to have you with us today as we dive deep into the Word of God to uncover timeless truths that can transform. Joseph's life provides a powerful blueprint for how we can experience favor in our own lives through diligence and excellence. His story demonstrates that no matter the circumstances, maintaining a commitment to working diligently and excelling in our responsibilities can lead to divine favor. Joseph's journey began with a significant challenge. He was sold into slavery by his own brothers and taken to Egypt. Instead of succumbing to despair, Joseph chose to approach his new circumstances with a spirit of diligence. In Potiphar's house, he worked with integrity and dedication. His efforts did not go unnoticed. Potiphar saw that everything Joseph did prospered, and as a result, he entrusted him with the management of his entire household. Genesis 39 verses 3-4. But Joseph's commitment to excellence didn't end there. When he was falsely accused by Potiphar's wife and thrown into prison, he continued to work diligently. Even in prison, Joseph's positive attitude and exceptional work ethic were evident. The prison warden recognized Joseph's abilities and placed him in charge of all the prisoners, a position of considerable responsibility. Genesis 39 verses 22-23. Joseph's example teaches us that favor often follows faithfulness. When we approach our work and responsibilities with a diligent heart, even in challenging situations, we honor God and position ourselves for His favor. Whether it's in a job, a ministry, or any area of life, our commitment to excellence can make a significant difference. To enjoy favor like Joseph, we should commit to excellence. Whatever task or responsibility we have, doing it with excellence and integrity reflects our commitment to God and can lead to recognition and favor from those around us. Stay positive and diligent. Even when faced with difficulties or setbacks, maintaining a positive attitude and a strong work ethic shows our trust in God's plan and our readiness for His blessings. Serve faithfully. Just as Joseph served faithfully in both Potiphar's house and prison, we should approach every opportunity to serve with dedication, knowing that our efforts are seen and valued by God. Joseph's life shows us that favor is not reserved for those in easy or prestigious positions, but for those who faithfully and diligently carry out their responsibilities, regardless of the situation. By following Joseph's example, we too can experience the favor of God in our own lives. Joseph's life illustrates the profound impact of using our God-given talents and abilities to serve others and honor God. His story shows us how leveraging our unique gifts can lead to extraordinary favor and opportunities. Joseph was endowed with the remarkable ability to interpret dreams. This talent, given to him by God, became a key factor in his rise to prominence. Even in the midst of his own trials, Joseph chose to use his gift to serve others. While imprisoned, Joseph encountered two of Pharaoh's officials, the cupbearer and the baker, who had troubling dreams. Rather than ignoring their plight, Joseph offered to help, saying, "Do not interpretations belong to God? Tell me your dreams." Genesis 40 verse 8. By using his gift to interpret their dreams accurately, Joseph not only served his fellow prisoners but also set the stage for his own elevation. 2 years later, when Pharaoh had troubling dreams that no one else could interpret, the cupbearer remembered Joseph's gift and mentioned it to Pharaoh. Joseph was summoned from prison and, with humility, attributed his ability to God. He interpreted Pharaoh's dreams, foreseeing 7 years of abundance followed by 7 years of famine, and also provided a plan to manage the forthcoming crisis. Genesis 41 verses 15-16. Pharaoh was so impressed by Joseph's wisdom and the accuracy of his interpretations that he appointed Joseph as second-in-command over all of Egypt. This promotion was a direct result of Joseph's willingness to use his talents to serve others and honor God, even when he was in a difficult situation. Joseph's example teaches us several key principles for enjoying favor through the use of our talents. Acknowledge God's gifts. Recognize that our talents and abilities are gifts from God. By acknowledging this and using them for His glory, we align ourselves with His purposes and open the door to His favor. Serve others. Just as Joseph used his gift to help the cupbearer and the baker, we should seek opportunities to use our talents in service to others. Serving others selflessly demonstrates our commitment to God and can lead to unexpected blessings. Maintain humility. Joseph's humility in attributing his gift to God rather than taking credit himself played a crucial role in his success. When we use our talents with humility, we honor God and invite His favor into our lives. Be ready for opportunities. Joseph was prepared to use his gift when the opportunity arose. We should be diligent in developing our talents so that we are ready to seize opportunities that come our way. By following Joseph's example and using our God-given abilities to serve others and honor God, we too can experience divine favor and open doors of opportunity that we might never have imagined. Joseph's story is a powerful example of the importance of trusting in God's timing. Throughout his life, Joseph faced numerous trials and delays that could have easily led to discouragement. However, he remained patient and faithful, trusting that God had a plan and purpose for his life, even when circumstances seemed bleak. After being sold into slavery by his brothers, Joseph found himself in Egypt, far from his home and family. He could have become bitter, but instead, he trusted that God was with him, even in this foreign land. As he served diligently in Potiphar's house and later in prison, Joseph maintained his integrity and faith in God, believing that God's timing was perfect. The delay of 2 full years between the interpretation of the cupbearer's dream and Pharaoh's dreams could have been a source of frustration for Joseph. He had hoped the cupbearer would remember him and speak to Pharaoh on his behalf. But even in this period of waiting, Joseph didn't lose hope. He trusted in God's timing, understanding that God's plan was greater than his immediate circumstances. When the time was right, God's appointed time, Joseph was brought before Pharaoh. Had Joseph been released earlier, he might not have been in the right place at the right time to interpret Pharaoh's dreams. His patience and trust in God's timing were rewarded when Pharaoh elevated him to a position of great power and authority over all of Egypt. Genesis 41 verses 40 to 41. Joseph's journey shows us that God's timing is always perfect, even when it doesn't align with our expectations. There are moments in our lives when we might feel stuck or wonder why God seems to be delaying. But just like Joseph, we are called to trust that God is working behind the scenes, preparing us for the right moment of favor and blessing. Are you in a season of waiting? Remember, God's timing is not our timing, and His ways are higher than our ways. Be patient, stay faithful, and trust that He is orchestrating every detail of your life for a purpose far greater than you can imagine. Joseph's journey to favor and success was not just marked by diligence and patience, it was deeply rooted in his continual reliance on God's guidance. At every major turning point in his life, Joseph sought to honor God and acknowledged Him as the source of his wisdom and understanding. When Pharaoh called Joseph to interpret his troubling dreams, Joseph could have easily taken the credit for his ability. Instead, he humbly pointed to God as the one who grants the knowledge and understanding to interpret dreams. He said to Pharaoh, "I cannot do it, but God will give Pharaoh the answer he desires." Genesis 41 verse 16. This statement reveals Joseph's deep trust in God and his unwavering commitment to seek God's guidance in all matters. Joseph's acknowledgement of God not only showcased his humility but also opened the door for divine favor. God granted him insight into the meaning of Pharaoh's dreams, revealing the coming years of abundance followed by severe famine. With this knowledge, Joseph didn't just stop at interpreting the dreams. He offered a strategic plan to Pharaoh on how to prepare for the future. This plan was divinely inspired and demonstrated extraordinary wisdom that Pharaoh immediately recognized as coming from God. Pharaoh was so impressed by Joseph's wisdom and discernment that he declared, "Can we find anyone like this man, one in whom is the Spirit of God?" Genesis 41 verse 38. As a result, Joseph was elevated to the highest position in the land, second only to Pharaoh himself. His reliance on God's guidance and his refusal to rely on his own understanding were pivotal in his rise to power and favor. Joseph's life teaches us the importance of seeking God's guidance in all our endeavors. When we face challenges or opportunities, our first response should be to turn to God in prayer, seeking His wisdom and direction. Proverbs 3 verses 5 to 6 reminds us to trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways submit to Him, and He will make your path straight. Are you facing a decision or a challenge today? Take a moment to seek God's guidance. Pray for wisdom, direction, and the courage to follow His lead. Just as Joseph experienced favor by seeking God's guidance, we too can open the door to divine favor and blessings in our lives. As we reflect on the life of Joseph, we see a powerful example of how to walk in divine favor. Joseph's story shows us that favor is not a result of circumstances but a byproduct of character and faithfulness. Wherever Joseph went, he carried the presence of God with him, and this presence brought him favor in every situation. Joseph's life teaches us several key principles for obtaining favor in our own lives. First, diligence and excellence are crucial. Like Joseph, when we commit to doing our best in every circumstance, no matter how difficult, we honor God and attract His blessings. We must strive to excel in our duties, knowing that our faithfulness is a testimony to God's goodness. Second, we should use our God-given talents and abilities to serve others and honor God. Joseph used his gift of interpreting dreams to serve those around him, and this eventually opened doors of opportunity and favor. In the same way, when we use our gifts wisely and for God's glory, favor often follows. Third, it is vital to trust in God's timing. Joseph endured many years of hardship and waiting, but he remained faithful, believing that God's plan would unfold at the right time. We too must trust that God knows the perfect timing for every aspect of our lives, even when things don't go according to our plans. Lastly, seeking God's guidance is essential. Joseph consistently relied on God for wisdom and direction, acknowledging that all his understanding came from God. When we seek God's guidance and lean not on our own understanding, we open the door to divine favor and blessings that are beyond our imagination. So, how can we walk in divine favor like Joseph? By being diligent, using our gifts to serve others, trusting in God's perfect timing, and continually seeking His guidance. As we do these things, we can be confident that God's favor will surround us like a shield, leading us to places of influence and blessing. Remember, God's favor is not about having a perfect life without challenges, but about experiencing His presence, provision, and purpose in the midst of every situation. Just as God was with Joseph, He is with us today, guiding us, providing for us, and leading us into His favor. Thank you for joining us today on Be Edified Daily. We hope this message has inspired you to seek God's favor in your life. If you were blessed by this teaching, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more biblical insights and encouragement. Until next time, may you walk in God's favor and be blessed in all you do.